All right, guys, Wes here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about the new Game Plus update for God of War Ragnarok. What is the deal with the new Game Plus update? Why is it taking so long? And when are we going to get to play it? I know a lot of you guys have been dying to play the new Game Plus update, so we're going to talk about when that will likely release, as I've got a couple theories to go over on when that could be. Obviously, we won't know 100% for certain until Sony announces it, but we do have some events coming up that could point to a potential reveal date for the new Game Plus update. Additionally, I'm going to talk about some of the features we can expect in the update, which could be a reason why it's taking so long. So definitely stick around until the end of the video. You guys are not going to want to miss this update. Real quick, guys, I'm giving away a PlayStation 5 for 110,000 subscribers. If you guys would like to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, comment your Twitter handle or your Discord name, either tweet me proof or put it in the proof of sub channel on my Discord, and that will enter you a chance to win a PS5 and a game copy of your choice. I've given away like 6 PS5s so far, and who knows, maybe you're going to be the next winner. Thank you so much for the support on the channel, guys. I really do appreciate it. And without further delay, let's go ahead and talk about what the deal is with God of War Ragnarok's new Game Plus update. Real quick though, before we get started, I'd like to set the stage for you guys. God of War Ragnarok was Sony's biggest first-party launch ever, selling over 5 million copies in its first week and becoming the first true system seller for the PS5. And that is, of course, despite it being a cross-generation game. God of War Ragnarok sold 82% of its copies on the PS5 and saw a massive 51% increase in launch window sales over the 2018 predecessor. Sony's first-party output during the PS5 era has been very strong, but God of War Ragnarok set the new standard of how to launch a game. While there isn't any kind of major paid expansion confirmed for God of War Ragnarok right now, we do know that a major patch is confirmed to be releasing in the spring. Now, this likely won't contain any new story content, but it will confirm the new Game Plus mode, which they previously already said is coming. And that's pretty exciting, because if you were playing God of War 2018 during the game's initial life, Santa Monica Studios came out with a big new Game Plus update, and from the looks of it, a similar thing is about to happen for God of War Ragnarok. Although, like I said, we don't have a solid release date just yet. The developers have confirmed that they're expecting to launch the update sometime this spring, so there's no release date just yet. Santa Monica Studios usually doesn't reveal a release window until they know 100% for certain that they will hit that window, so I'm not really expecting this update to get delayed past the spring. That is, unless they're going to release an expansion for God of War Ragnarok. We don't know, but what we do know, like I said, is we know it's coming out in spring. And you're probably asking yourself, well, Wes, it is spring, where is the update? Well, unfortunately, it's not that simple, but more on that in just a bit. Now, as for what to expect from the new Game Plus mode, it's safe to assume that God of War Ragnarok's NG Plus update will be similar scale to the 2018 game's iteration, but perhaps with a few additional evolutions of the concept. So you'll most likely have to finish the base game story, obviously, at least once before diving into the new Game Plus mode, but you'll be rewarded by starting NG Plus with all of your existing armor sets, upgrade skills, all of the abilities, and more. Just think of yourself as the actual God of War whenever you start your playthrough, even though the difficulty is going to be a lot harder. Now, obviously, certain weapons and items will be locked to the story's progression, but for the most part, you'll be jumping into the new Game Plus mode with everything you ended with your most recent save. That being said, though, the challenge is going to be seriously cranked up, so you're going to need all the help that you can get from the very start. Enemies will be much stronger and smarter out of the gate, and they're going to give you much less time to react to their attacks. They're going to have different attack patterns that you'll have to pick up on the fly in addition to everything else. This is going to be the ultimate showing of skill in God of War Ragnarok, so make sure you play through the story again and get yourself fully kitted before this update drops so you can be fully ready for it. While nothing more than New Game Plus is confirmed just yet, there are a few theories as to what Santa Monica Studios could be working on in addition to the new gameplay experience. After all, it's been quite some time since the game was released, and it really seems like the studio is working on more than just New Game Plus. After all, they were simply working on a remake of a mode that was, of course, in the last game, so it's kind of questionable as to why it's taken them so long to get the new Game Plus update out. On top of that, Ragnarok was a much bigger financial success than the 2018 game, so it would make sense for Sony and Santa Monica Studios to want to do more than just drop a new game mode, right? That said, there are rumors that the new Game Plus update will actually offer some new side quests to it, expanding upon the end game story and offering some new gameplay opportunities in Ragnarok's massive world, potentially by adding more favors to the new Game Plus mode, which would make the experience even more unique and rewarding for players without going too crazy with new story content or demanding too much from Santa Monica Studios, basically turning the new Game Plus update into a mini expansion. Another possible addition, now I think this is going to happen, but it's not officially confirmed, but some new finishers added to the game, which would be an awesome quality of life improvement that, again, wouldn't put too much stress on Santa Monica Studios to get the job done in time. Throwing some new finishers in with this update would add some new life to the game and give experienced players some new content without making the game too different for new players. Plus, I think everyone benefits from new content being added to the game, so additional variety in animations and combat would be a nice thing to see. So while new favors and finishers aren't confirmed for the new Game Plus update, I would love to see them added to the game, and I think it's actually pretty possible that they end up being added to the mix. Now, before we dive into a theory about New Game Plus adding a new playable character, let's go and talk about when this update will likely release. As you guys know, they said that it's going to release sometime in spring. They didn't specifically say a month or a date. All they said was spring 2023, which gives us about 4 months to play with. Obviously, March is a bust and we are in April, so now all that's left is May and June. Now, if you guys didn't know, PlayStation is actually releasing another update for a game in the form of the Horizon Forbidden West DLC, Burning Shores, which, if you didn't know, is set to release on April 19th. And if PlayStation was smart, which, let's be honest, whenever it comes to marketing, they definitely are, I don't really see them releasing an update for God of War Ragnarok this month, as most of their marketing will be likely tailored to Horizon Forbidden West DLC. Now, it's still possible that we get it this month, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So really, that just leaves us with May and the start of June. So whenever it comes to a likely release window, I think May and June is probably the best time. As you guys know, PlayStation is going to be doing a big showcase around the time of E3, which is set for about 10 days into June. So if PlayStation does indeed do a big showcase, then that would be a perfect opportunity for PlayStation to market the New Game Plus update, as well as give a release window for when the game is going to release on PC. I can easily picture PlayStation hot dropping the update for New Game Plus right around the time for their PlayStation showcase. It would be a great event for them to do it, and it would drive people to go out and buy PS5s, so not only they could experience God of War Ragnarok, but also try out the New Game Plus update. But unless Santa Monica Studios decides to hot drop it in this month, then like I said, I think May and June is probably the best timeline for not only PlayStation using the game as marketing for people to go out and buy PS5s, but it also gives Sony Santa Monica some time to get everything ironed out that they want to with the New Game Plus update. Now, one theory that I'd like to talk about for a New Game Plus update that I think is a little far-fetched, but it's the possibility of a new playable character, namely Freya. I would absolutely love it if we got some type of exclusive quests or even just sections of the game where we play as Freya rather than Kratos. It would be such a unique thing, especially since the Norse timeline is officially over. I've always wanted to play as Freya, but with the start of the game happening how it did, it just didn't really make sense at the time. If you ever played the Arkham games back in the day, especially during those games prime, you probably remember various updates for Arkham City and Arkham Knight that added new playable characters, which was pretty exciting. For example, in Arkham City and Arkham Knight, you played as Batman, but there were also DLC packs that let you play as Catwoman, Robin, and Nightwing. In terms of the gameplay, most of the changes between characters were purely visual, but they each had some unique gadgets, and obviously their animations were specific to their fighting style. Now, while God of War Ragnarok is a very different type of game whenever it comes to the Arkham series, there are some similarities in their structure, and letting you swap Kratos out for Freya during the end game would be a pretty awesome addition to the gameplay. It's a bit far-fetched, I know, but it would be an awesome addition to the game, and I'm kind of hoping that this theory comes true. Now, with the recent trend of Sony games getting director's cuts, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Ragnarok gets one as well, although it likely won't be for a few months after the New Game Plus update is out. Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima both had director's cuts, which released a while after the game launched, and they contained all of the base and post-launch content as well as some new goodies and performance upgrades. With God of War Ragnarok's PC port rumored to be right around the corner, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Sony announced a director's cut at some point in the near future that contains some new content that didn't make it into the initial game's launch. Now, the developers have stated in interviews that a few storylines had to be cut from the base game in order to meet deadlines and keep up with the game's pacing, but a director's cut would give them additional time that they need to get those back into the base games to kind of rework the storylines and just make the pacing overall better during the end game. Even if they end up being demoted to side missions, I think that they should be in the game somehow. Again, a director's cut isn't confirmed for Ragnarok yet, but thanks to Sony's recent fascination with them and the rumored PC port likely getting announced soon, and with the rumored PlayStation 5 Slim and PS5 Pro rumored to get announced sometime within the next 12 to 18 months, don't be surprised if we get a new and improved re-release of God of War Ragnarok. Despite God of War Ragnarok's hype season being long gone, there is still a lot of excitement for it, especially if you're a fan of the game and its universe. The Amazon series is in the middle of pre-production, and Sony is still using Kratos and company as a major selling point for the PS5, so they clearly want to make sure that they're supporting the game as much as they can. The New Game Plus update should be coming out sometime in the spring still, that is if it doesn't get delayed. There's also the reality that this is a cross-generation title with the PS4 and PS5, so the development of the New Game Plus update might take a little bit longer, but regardless though, I cannot wait until we see this update released because I am ready to play the game again. I've got my character fully kitted and ready for the New Game Plus update, and I cannot wait to jump back into the Nine Realms whenever Santa Monica Studios decides to release the update. The team is already hard at work on God of War 6, so hopefully that doesn't mean that God of War Ragnarok is completely left behind, but let me know what you think about all of this stuff in the comment section below. Have you played God of War Ragnarok yet? Did you beat the game? Is this your first God of War Ragnarok video you've watched from me? Do me a favor, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on if you enjoyed it, it. Don't forget to enter the 110,000 subscriber PS5 giveaway. I've got all of the details in the pinned comment if you guys would like to enter. Thank you all for watching. This has been Wes, and I'll talk to you in the next video.